changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with your daily dose of Chicken Soup for the Soul inspiration. It's Motivational Monday, and that's when I get to share with you a cool story that has changed my own life, one that I think will change yours as well. Today I'm going to share two stories with you because I found myself sharing them with a friend of mine a couple of nights ago. My friend was telling me why she wasn't confident that she would get a job that she was 100% qualified for. She was specifically asked to apply for the job, and she was told they were holding the job for her, and she still didn't think she was going to get it. And then she started telling me how her brilliant daughters didn't have enough faith in their abilities at their jobs either, even though they're excelling at those jobs. So I told her a couple of stories about how you can build your self-confidence. And both of these stories come from our book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, thanks to my mom. Moms give the best advice, right? Even if we don't admit it till we're in our 20s, we know that that's true. So first, let me tell you the story by Elisa Edwards Smith. Her story is called Fake It Till You Make It, which is a phrase that her mother lived by. Elisa's mother was always a whirlwind of activity, and she was always making impossible things happen. And Elisa tells us in her story that she grew up in Nigeria, where her mother ran an orphanage. And one time she watched her mother supervising some workmen that were building a water tower for the orphans, and they were mixing up the concrete to build the tower. And Elisa's mom went over to the workmen with absolute authority and confidence, picked up some of the concrete mixture, ran it through her hands, and said, "There is too much sand in this mixture." Well, the men immediately obeyed her and changed the concrete mixture. And when Elisa was alone with her mom, she said, "Mom, I didn't know that you knew anything about concrete." "I don't," her mother replied. "I just know that putting too much sand in the mixture is how they cheat you." Elisa says her mother was a force of nature. She had grown up in the Appalachian Mountains in a house with no heat and no plumbing, and she was the first person in her family to even graduate from high school. But she had dreams and hopes way beyond her family's means. She said she was going into medicine, marrying a doctor, and moving to Africa. And she did it. And there she was, striding fearlessly into that group of workmen, supervising the building of something she knew nothing about. So Elisa channeled her mom. She channeled her mom when she was frightened on her first day in class at Duke University. She channeled her mom when she was nervous about raising her children, because we all know, none of us know anything about raising children until we've already done it. She always channeled her mother when any kind of challenge arose. And no matter how Elisa had to stretch to try new things, she remembered her mother's mantra, fake it till you make it. Now we have another great story on the same subject from Mary Wood Bridgman. Mary's mother had another great saying, which happens to be the title of Mary's story. Tell them you can do it. Mary's mother was a teacher, and she took on interns every year. And one day she told her intern, who was preparing for a job interview, whatever they want you to do, you tell them you can do it. Whether it was math or geography or home economics, her mom told the intern, tell them you can do it. Well, Mary went on to earn a law degree. She worked for a law firm. And for the first 5 years of her career, she felt woefully ill-equipped to handle just about everything that crossed her desk. She found the work painstaking and confusing. She found courtroom appearances scary, intimidating. But she kept that to herself, and she kept following her mother's advice. Tell them you can do it. And later, Mary became an expert in a number of new fields when she took a corporate job. There was no one else to do things, so she did them. She was given more and more responsibility. She kept on stretching beyond her comfort zone. If they asked, she always said she could do it. And then she figured out how. So Mary still lives by her mother's words, no matter how tired, intimidated, or overwhelmed she feels. Tell them you can do it. So that's it. Two great pieces of advice from two different mothers as we're heading into Mother's Day. Tell them you can do it, and then fake it till you make it. You'll be the only one in on the secret. Everyone else will just think you know what you're doing. Tomorrow is Tip Tuesday, and I'll be sharing a really cool perspective changer that gave me a whole new way of dealing with failed relationships, including divorce. I'm Amy Newmark. Thank you for listening to the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast today. Spread the word, tell your friends, and you can also rate and review the podcast on our iTunes page. And if you'd like to read more great life tips from Chicken Soup for the Soul, thanks to my mom, go to our website, chickensoup.com.